Good.
2, 3, we're live, Mr. Wade.
Thank you.
Good night,
Good
sir.
night.
It's yours.
Good night to our viewers and listeners, both at home and abroad. And apology for a little uh, 10 minutes late, 15 minutes late. But the show must goes on. Better late than never. You know, um, I know that, you know, people will get to view us later, as always. Some of us, some of them do not view us right here and then, but they get to look, later on, and when they come across the show, so I want to thank them too for
Been
doing
ha-
that.
Mr. Chairman, we've been having some good numbers, so that's my good report for the night.
Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, there's a lot going on, and as always, we try to advocate for our people so that they have been taken care of. For those who need attention, we call out to the system so that they get some attention. And basically we advocate for our people and nation. On that note, we want to get right to our show. And as always, I expect Gregory Brackett in, he must be in the background queuing up, because we always 90% of the time try to show and tell. And again, welcome our viewers, both at home and abroad. God bless, and thank you for all the support and the sharing you guys do, and spread the news, spread the love. Because that's what we need. We need people to be aware of what's going on, in real time, right? So on that note, uh, it's always a pleasure to sit in the company of Mr. Leonard Brackett.
The pleasure is mine too,
Um,
sir.
it's always a pleasure, my brother. Um,
Amen.
you're a true patriot and a lover of your country and your people. True
Amen.
patriot. Thank you very much, my brother, for staying the course, and get, pray that the good Lord continue to give us that energy and that will to sit here and advocate, because we
It,
advocate, Leonard. We talk about things that affect our country and people. Those are the things that we talk about,
it
right?
is,
And
Mr. Chairman, it is a purpose for the rest of my existence, sir.
thank you, thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much
Thank you
for
too.
you don't have too many of us, Leonard. You don't have too many of us. You have a lot of us that's in the background, and a lot is said. They are like that, right? But when it's time to step up and smell the coffee, right? Step up and be accounted for, they do not, Leonard, they do not step up for whatever reason. But, you know, thank the good Lord that, we are the few, one of the few, two of the few, or three of the few, because I got to include Gregory too, because, we three step up. We talk,
Well,
but we step up too.
Mr. Chairman, if we're gonna start the count numbers, I think we have to continue going because I can't stop until maybe the end of the show, maybe thereafter. Because I'm telling you, we may not always see it, but there's a lot of people out there who are willing, ready, and able to do the human work that we are doing, and they're doing their little part within their own little set of circumstances. But believe me,
Thank,
I've
well,
found a lot
well,
of them out there,
well,
surprisingly so.
Leonard, I just hope and pray, Leonard, that, when we are no more, that they
Pick up the mantle
pick
and
up
move on.
and move on and continue, right?
So,
Because that is what this country need, Leonard. That is what this country need, right? And I want to tell the nation and the world, right, that 98% of the things we talk about here, at some point benefits benefits
yes,
the
sir.
poor and the less fortunate in this country. Benefits, because, like I say, always we talk about issues that directly affect our people. And on that note, we always start with a prayer and then a reading. So I'll ask Leonard to please lead us in a prayer, please.
Yes, sir, I will. I'll just bow my head, Mr. Chairman. Divine loving Father, thou who art the creator of heaven and earth and all that in them are, thou who art the creator, our creator, we come to thee asking that thou would continue to be merciful unto us, that thou would continue to guide us, protect us, strengthen us, give us wisdom, knowledge, understanding, endurance, perseverance, the strength and fortitude to speak truth to power when needed. We also pray that thou wouldst continue to bless our country of Belize, its people, and its leadership, and that thou would continue to bless the country of the United States, its people and leadership, as well as the rest of humanity. We thank the loving Father for hearing our prayers and for answering our prayers in regards to those people who are in harm's way and who are suffering from man-made disasters, killing of people gratuitously just because some people can. We thank the Lord that they have found a way to initiate some peaceful coexistence. And we pray, Lord, that thou would help them to be able to maintain that agreement. Please continue to bless people in Ukraine and Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan and all over the world, Lord. I pray that thou mayest bless also those people that are in um, Central Republic of Africa who are going through major wars and devastation themselves, and the people who are actually going through other wars in Sudan. Be merciful unto us all, Lord Father. Please help us that whatever we present tonight may it accrue to the well-being and benefit of our people and country of Belize. We ask these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Leonard, for that sobering prayer.
You're welcome,
Thank you
sir.
very much. The country needs it, and I hope and pray that our nation you know turn to God, because He alone and He's the only one that on that day that will save us. So I'm mindful that He's our creator. He's the creator of the universe. Um, no other one. So we must give thanks and praise to Him at all the time. You know, um, Miss Leonard, um, my people, both at home and abroad, I will do a reading from Luke. Uh, Someone sent me this chapter and the verse to read. Luke chapter 12, 20 to 30. It reads, "But God said to him, 'Fool, this night your soul is required
Required of thee.
of you,
Mhm.
and the things you have prepared, whose will they be?' So is the one who lays up treasure for himself and is not rich towards God." And he said to his disciple, "Therefore, I tell you, do not be anxious about your life, what you will eat, nor about your body, what you will put
Where?
on. For life is more than food, and the body more than clothing. Consider the ravens. They neither sow nor reap. They have neither storehouse nor barn, and yet God feeds them.
Amen.
Of How much more value are you than the birds? And which of you, by being anxious, can add a single hour to his span of life? If then you are not able to do as small a thing as that, why are you anxious about the rest? Consider the lilies, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin. Yet, I tell you, even Solomon, in all his glory, was not arrayed like one of these. But if God so clothed the grass, which is alive in the field today, and tomorrow is thrown into the oven, how much more will he clothe you,
Amen.
O you of little faith? And do not seek what you are to eat and what you are to drink, nor be worried. For all the nation of the world seek after these things, and your Father knows that you need them. Instead, seek his kingdom, and these things will be added to you.
Amen.
That's my reading from Luke chapter 12, 20 to 30. Leonard, somebody sent me a message and says, you know, please read that on your show tonight.
Amen.
So they didn't say why they sent it. They just said for me to please read that. So
Well, their wishes were
I want to say
fulfilled.
that, yes. Uh, Leonard, you know, it's like a broken record for us because these are things that we always talk about, Leonard, in terms of disaster, hurricane, the COVID situation. We talk about how they address the whole situation and how people are being treated and how politics has been drawn to every time in the recovery process, how the ones that really does needs the help does not get it. So all these things, Leonard, and we see it play out time and time and time again. And the same system is used by the two-party system, right? The same way of handling the situation, they does the same thing. Because, Leonard, when the UDP is in power, and we have a disaster, COVID or hurricane, they do the same thing as what this PUP government is doing,
Hmm.
right? And you see, we talk about these things because it's not right. We call it out because it's not right. We call it out because we see it right in front of our eyes in our community, in on the street we live, right? We see these things how they operate. In the villages where people live, time and time again we see how in time of disaster the UD comes in and they service a few of their own, and the rest could, I don't want to say the word, but same thing as the PUP. When time of disaster, they come in and they service a few PUP. And then what's so ironic, Leonard, and my people at home and abroad, they look, you in the eyes, and they say to the world, and they say to the nation, we are going to help everybody, and we have helped everybody. These are the things that
Lies
that,
on
that
top of lies
the
on top of
moral
lies.
wrong, Leonard. Huh?
Yes, sir.
Because here we go again, Leonard. See, I'll touch one. The West has been affected to a lot, Leonard. A lot of flooding. And I see with my own eyes. So I know the talk, what somebody come and tell me, right? Or nothing from out here and I pull one string or pull something out of my back pocket. No, I the talk what I see and I know it's wrong what I'm seeing, right? You have areas here in this municipality in the West here, Leonard, that every time a little hard rain and a little storm, this area here floods, Leonard, floods. I tell you, these people they have to start to make bigger boots. We call it rubber boots because they cannot get in their yard, right? And on the system, just turn a blind eye. When it's a UDP, they turn a blind eye. When it's a PUP, they turn a blind eye to this little area. So again, I notice here now with the taxpayers' money after the flood, Leonard, the area representative call himself walking and making a assessment. They call it
Inspection.
assessment of the damages, Leonard, right? So I watch this guy, and then when you look, a couple backhoe come, and what they do, I thought I was so glad because I said, well, this place that have always flood, finally they're gonna do a proper drainage there, and they was gonna fix this. For years, I'm not talking just this. So, but they passed that area again, Leonard, and they went to two well-known supporter of the PUP. They out there with their blue shirt and everything, and they march amongst this area representative, and they que viva PUP. You know what that man did? He made 3 driveways for these people. 3 driveways, and that's the work that fool did. And they went on the news and it says, and so the area representative was in Santa
Suddenly
Elena
at
and
work.
Bradley's Bank. Just as you see, these are the things that is morally wrong. Morally wrong. Now, I would retract this, Leonard, if this man would come to on and say to the nation, you see those 3 driveways? See my bank statement here, this money that out of my bank account. It's my money that made these driveways for these people. But that fool cannot say that, right? Taxpayers' money. Should that
Government,
be happening? No, man, that shouldn't be happening, right?
government equipment or government rental.
Yes, right. But my point is, don't say that you help everybody, man. Why can't you? Aren't you man enough to say who you help? Call the 3 names that you help. What is so wrong with telling the truth, right? So these poor people and gotta wait again, because another the hurricane season is not finished, and then another one is gonna come, right? That's for sure, right? So then again, Leonard, you look, you think, you know, that you say, well, like, the flood, eventually all this water is gonna travel down, right?
The lowlands.
So you see what is happening to our brothers and sisters along the Belize River Valley right now, Leonard?
Yes, sir.
Catastrophe. So where is Nemo, right?
Nowhere to be
Where is
found.
these great planners? Is it the first time we are having a hurricane?
Mr. Wade,
Why couldn't
Mr.
these
Chairman,
people?
Mr. Chairman, who is the head of Nemo though?
No other than the leader of this nation and the prime minister of this nation, the PUP leader, Johnny Briceño, right?
But I
He's
thought Nemo wasn't a political entity, or I thought Nemo wasn't only for a certain party or only for certain party members. I thought Nemo was a national emergency operation to look after the interests of all the citizens of the country. I
that's
yield
what
back,
it
sir.
should
Sorry for
be.
interrupting.
That's what it should be, Leonard, right? But it's not because it's plain to be seen, right? And it's like I say, it's the first time we're having a hurricane, right?
No,
It's the first time we're having a disaster.
no,
It's the first time we're having storms, flooding.
no.
No, Leonard, that's my thing, right?
But it's the first time we have had a SOE declared for a state of emergency. How unfortunate.
You mean they declared a state of emergency where in the Belize River Valley?
Not yet.
Okay. But my people, both at home and abroad, one of this man constituency, he declared right away his little village a state of emergency. Right away.
So you can justify spending money out of the car, out of all of our pocket.
Right.
But to hell
So
with the rest of us.
so my thing, the whole system had failed these people on the river valley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because these people should have been forewarned. That's my thing. Because remember, these are great minds, these are great thinkers. These are great engineers, these are great ex-BDF man, these are great ministers on the NEMA board,
They are
on
the
the state
best that,
of emergency.
Mr. Chairman, they are the best that Belize ever had.
Yes, best.
I'm smiling because that is how it's been declared. The best that Belize ever had.
Yes,
These
in
are the best of
43
times, the
years.
best economy, the best of every, you know. But
Right.
anyhow, let me stop interrupting.
In 43 years, Leonard, right? So, I mean, just imagine what these people are going through, Leonard. I think that if these people were forewarned, they would have been properly prepared, more prepared than what are they are in the state they are in right now,
But
right?
Mr. Chairman,
So
I need to interact again, sir.
so no, I give you the
Even if
floor,
they were,
Leonard.
yes,
Leonard, go
sir.
ahead.
Even if they were forewarned, in order for them to have been forewarned by whoever forewarned them, that person or entity should have also planned and prepared ahead of time to render some assistance in addition to the warning. Because that's what a government does. It provides emergency assistance and backup to local entities so they can care for their citizenry. But it appears like NEMO is not concerned with that part of the effort. They're only concerned about the big hustle, which is a new phrase you're going to hear me start repeating over and over and over. Because apparently most people don't understand what it means when anyone speaks about the big hustle. So we have to start contextualize it. I yield back again, sir.
Thank you, Leonard. Thank you, because
You're welcome.
these people will never stop, Leonard. These people will never stop. What will it take for these people to do the right thing? What will it take? Right? I mean, there's people and people livelihood we're talking about here, Leonard. We're talking about families. We're not talking about dog, cats, and no, we're talking about human beings, man. You know, come on. Huh? A country does not have a proper shelter, Leonard. A nation that does not have a proper shelter, hurricane shelter. Huh?
For
What
its
is wrong with that
for
picture?
for its villagers.
Yes.
They
What
don't
is
have no.
wrong
They
with
don't have
that
good one
picture?
in the cities and towns, much less villages.
See? So now they will get on the when there's a hurricane coming or a disaster or a flood or a storm, they will get on the news and say, oh yeah, well this school will be open and this community center will be open, and these people it's a repetition and with no facility, no kind of proper facilities in these shelter in these schools and community centers, right? And they don't have no shame going public for the world to see, huh, what they have to offer their people. Huh? Is this the best that they can do? Come on, I know, Leonard, that's not the best that this government and past government could do, man, for our people, right?
Sir, they may claim that it's the best that they can do because they don't appropriate the funds where it needs to be appropriated. So therefore, that's the best they can do, and they are doing the best according to them by mismanagement. But they don't think of themselves as mismanaging.
And while we're on that, Leonard, to every time there's a disaster, a storm, a flood, a hurricane, the amount of external aid that this country gets, donation, whether in money, monetary donation, or equipment, huh?
And they still go back to the house for um, additional
For the
appropriation.
taxpayers' money, they want the taxpayers' money. They want that money. They still get that money too,
Hmm.
right? And at the end of the day, Leonard, see, I'm just walking through what's actually happening in this country, Leonard, right? At the end of the day, back to Nemo. We got Nemo run by the leader, right? And past Nemo leader, right? And the amount of donations, does not trigger down to our people who needs it. It stays in that warehouse, Leonard, and from that warehouse, it ends up in house and in farms, all the equipment that
The well
that
connect, well connected.
see. And I'm not talking, nothing that are not
But the,
true. These things are
Mr.
true,
Chairman,
right?
they boast about it, sir.
Right.
They boast about these things. Their own mouth, in their own words. Sometimes, we always like to say we show and tell, it's their own mouth. Sometimes, they
Yeah.
tell on themselves.
So so Leonard, you look around after everything is done, the warehouse is empty. They'll say we don't have nothing more and the money done and all the supplies done. So no who and people really need it now can't get it because all of a sudden it done, right?
Hmm.
And it disappear, right? And the warehouse left empty, right? Until they fill it up again to recycle the same problem, right? So these guys have no shame, um, just take advantage of the poor people, and then they uses the poor people, Leonard, to get their wealth all the time, right? Like I say, some of these equipment end up in somebody's farm, some minister farm, right?
Hmm.
The generators, the stove, the refrigerator, the bunks, and all that, all of the hardware stuff, the plywood, the woods, and everything, end up in some minister's farm, right? And
Warehouses.
a couple of their employees' farm and houses, while the poor people who needs it, that that item actually come for that individual does not get it, right? So I know they talk nothing
It's really sad,
foolishness. I know they talk no
Chairman.
nothing when I know so.
It's really sad.
Right.
A lot of people are watching and seeing what's happening, and it's like there's an indifference. Those who are getting ahead and getting by or succeeding or surviving, you know, who don't care one iota about others who are not surviving as well as they are. It's like every man for himself and nobody for the country. You know, if people are suffering in the country, so what? Let them figure out a way how to help themselves. Because the politician won't help them, while the politicians are helping themselves at our straw, or from our budget, or from our consolidated funds, or from the loans that we get from abroad, or from the grants, or any other source of funding. It's not for lack of funding, it's not because we don't have funding, it's the will that we don't have.
That's it.
Decency, cohesiveness, care for each other. You know, a lot of people tell a lot of friends and other people, oh, I love you, I wish you the best, take care, have a good day, have a whatever. But they don't help them to have that good day. They don't help provide what is needed for those other people to have a good day. They don't provide even the basic inspiration. They don't tell them at least a few good words that will build up their spirit or their emotion or get them psyched up to where they are willing to put the extra effort out to become successful in their own survival. I see colleague Mr. Gregory Brackett somewhere in the background there. I guess he's coming on and at some point, and so we'll just wait until he's ready to come on his own. He has the ability to do so. And great commentary tonight and great topic, Mr. Chairman. Thanks for bringing it up, sir, because those are some of the things that ails me. You know, it bothers me. Because
Go
we're
ahead,
not
Leonard.
short.
Go ahead.
We're
Go
not
ahead.
short of funds. We're not short of money in the country. This country is awash with money. Okay, but just a privileged few. Those who are at the higher echelon of the society are the ones that are, enjoying the cream. And the part, like I said, is that they don't leave anything for anybody. They don't invite nobody in to enjoy or share. You know, they're just selfish. I've been going around the country doing my annual surveys, and it baffles me how the average local Belizean is so desperately left, abandoned. And then we have other people who are coming in with a lot of energy, who are being afforded all the privileges that should have been afforded to the local Belizean. And those people are fighting their way through and surviving and succeeding. Their children will be the next generation of leaders in our country. They will not only be leaders, but they will also be the economic engine of the country. They will succeed and survive as the minority black Belizeans continue to become marginalized more and more and more. And some of them apparently don't see that as being the case. Nor do they care whether it is the case or not. Some of them hate their own brothers and sisters in such a devious way as to say, well, why aren't they succeeding? It's because they don't want to succeed. Some of them are lazy. They don't want to work. Mind you that when they go and ask for the jobs, they look on them and they say, okay, well, no, we don't want you in our front office. Or no, we don't want no black people showing up in our business because people will think that these individuals are troublemakers or, they will steal whatever. You know. In other words, they are prejudged on the basis of the color of their skin rather than the mind, rather than the aptitude, rather than the hard-working professional context that they want to be able to survive as well. And they have a hard time being employed or getting the jobs. And then some of their own colleagues, family members or friends talk down to them and criticize them. Why? Because they're not the one Some of them are employed. The government can't employ everybody, and the government is not providing policies of state to facilitate additional employment, other than for people who can kick back something to them. Look at that BPO stuff the other day. Um, Mr. Chairman, I
Good
saw
night,
one of my
gentlemen.
colleagues, Gregory.
I cannot, I cannot still log in because I'm being hit. I've been trying to get in the show. It has nothing to do with StreamYard. It's coming from the ISP, I believe, where as soon as I log in, I become frozen or I am terminated.
They, yeah, they are buffering.
So
They are
I don't
buffering your
want to
services.
disrupt the program.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Wow.
I don't want to interrupt the program. I will just log out because that is what is continuously happening. Okay?
They are buffering your program, and they are intent in trying to be mischievous. But that's all right. And thank you very much
Right.
for checking in, Greg, and telling
So
us what's going
sad.
on in the background. Huh? Yield back to
Right.
you, Mr. Chairman.
It's so sad. It's so sad to see the extent they go to, to try to silence people, who literally coming out and speaking out, on issues, right? Like, people are supposed to do that, and they go around and they pass all kind of law trying to silence people, disenfranchising them from their constitutional rights,
Mm-hmm.
and people get some people get afraid, Leonard, to speak out because they're afraid the police come knock at them, do arrest them and go with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way how this
On some bogus
country
charge.
is going, yes, right. Remind me of the Hitler time in
The,
Germany and all today, then country there, you
yeah,
understand me? And
the man didn't comment on Mr. Bukele so much to the point that they sound like they want to be like Bukele.
come on,
And
man.
they will only be able to achieve that by changing our constitution.
I can't understand, you know, um, how past and present government just hate when people start to get educated. Leonard, they try to educate themselves. Like, they have a saying that they all they want to do is to keep you poor and dependent. Poor and dependent, my people. You know what that
Ignorance is the
mean,
best
right?
tool.
Poor and dependent on them. So when they come around election time, that's when they see you and they help you a little bit. They show a little salt in your eyes again, and then they keep you dependent again for the next cycle,
And as
right?
we know, election is not too far away, so Belizean people wake up and be aware.
You know,
This
these
is
are
the time
things
for
that
Belizeans to eat. And you're going to eat your plate of food when you go, or your plate of barbecue. You're going to get your couple beer. You're going to get your $50. And after that, for the next 5 years, they're going to be the one to be eating. And to hell with you. You
uh,
up, Mr. Chairman.
I can't understand, Leonard, and these are actually facts, Leonard, that happens to people.
Mm-hmm.
Actual facts that happens to people. Are we so drunk? Are we so drunk in that mentality that we can't get out of that cloud? Huh? So sad, and it's so sad to see what is happening. So sad, right? We just stay in a rally cluster, right? So how we expect us to move out of that cluster? We better, be bold, right? And move out of that cluster. I got bold and move out because I was once stuck in that one little frame of mind, and I was nothing better than a PUP party, right? And I'm not shameful to say, right? But I told them we had to shove it because I see the evil in them and the ills that they do. I was
Mm-hmm.
part of them. I'm not afraid to tell them that I know how they operate, right? So I'm not afraid to. I came on public and tell them where to shove it, right? I got out of that box, Because I was in that box too, right? Come on. You deserve better. And better can be done in this country. But not with this two-party system. Gotta change this two-party system. Wipe them out. You see, like how you have your eraser? Erase them out, man. Huh?
Mr. Chairman, can I make a quick comment?
Sure, Leonard, go ahead.
I'm wondering, when is it that we people will get smart enough, quick enough, strong enough, and tough enough to give these gentlemen a dose of the medicine that they duly deserve for the way they behave, and just change the governing group to some entity or some other person, just for the hell of it, maybe. You know, try something new, try somebody else new. We've seen what these couple of mass parties have done to us over the last 4 decades plus, and we can't expect for them to do anything different. They do what they're used to doing and what they think they can get away with. You, the people, have to make the decision. Put them on the spot where they realize that they're not the only game in town. You, the people, have to create a different game. Demand respect. Demand accountability. Stop giving these people the power with which they turn around and victimize you. It is your right and responsibility, for self-preservation reasons, see to it that you quit this shenanigan of re-electing these people over and over and over. But I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
See, yes, it's, repetitious cycle, right? And, I asked my people, who who were these people? Who were these people before we vote for them? Who were they?
There were nobody.
Huh?
Some of them didn't have a
And
nickel or two
just
pennies to rub
remember,
together.
just rewind and see how much time we put up the same people for the same purpose and making our life better. Whose life they make better? Whose life did they make better? And they keep coming and coming and coming to you. And you can see the big ploy, you can see the big trick within the trick, Because once you don't get in the power and they sit down there, what happen? They get richer and richer, they don't show you no kind of inkling way that wow, they make we life better. So make we vote for them again, right? Make we put them back in because then they make we life better. I don't see it, and I the wrong long time. I don't see what kind of betterment these guys they do for this nation and the poor people and the less fortunate. All they do is use abuse keep poor and dependent. That's all they do. And pretty soon, let me say this on our program here on this 222nd edition of our Belizean Affairs. Pretty soon, they will not need your vote. We poor Belizean, born Belizean, black, Creole. Pretty soon, my brothers and sisters, they will not even connect you door. So I make you think you ain't get anything, then time. You don't get it now, you will never get it. Pretty soon, by the next election, if they get successful, whichever way, how, and when, the next one, they will not need the black votes in this country,
But that was said to us on more than one occasion, Mr. Wade.
right?
Barefacedly so.
Right. And not too long ago, My experience when I contested a convention for the People's United Party in 1996 in this country.
Belmopan South.
Yes, the man I was contesting, may he rest in peace, Agopino Kawich, told me, Brother Rudy, you know what? I don't worry if the black people and vote for me, just like that. May he rest in peace. He was a good guy, right? And I know they lie, because my witness. I do, and that is what was in 1996, Kayo South.
Mm-hmm.
I do not need the black votes in Kayo South, Brother Rudy. I have it covered with the Hispanic vote.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he told me. Okay, for the record.
So
So you see
likewise,
from how
they
long?
had it covered with the Hispanic votes in the most recent by-election as well.
You see what Briseño did the other day? He took the immigration, he took the vital statistic, he took
Passport,
the lands department, he took
Social Security,
all of
the
our
whole.
our public offices that will regularize these people. He took them to Orange Walk in one day. One day, he got his people and he got what he wanted. That's also show, don't forget that. My people. And whose money he used to do that? Not his money. Not his money. Not a penny came out of that man's pocket, right? But he got what he wanted, right? He had regularized the amount of people he wanted to regularize,
Some of these
gave
people,
away the amount of land he wanted to give away, gave away the amount of passport he wanted to give away, gave away the amount of social security cards he wanted to give away. Right? Go ahead, Leonard.
as well as nationality documentation, contrary to the constitutional prescriptions,
Right.
facilitated, and then
I don't forget that.
they turn around and born Belizeans are being given a hard time. I was here to go and ask for one of my daughters who wanted to become a Belizean. She's a born US citizen, but wanted to exercise her rights to be a dual citizen and to get her Belizean, uh, um,
Matrimony,
I'm trying to remember the name of the
nationality.
documentation. Her nationality, um, she wanted to exercise the privilege of having dual nationality through her father, as the Constitution prescribes. Because I dare to apply for the stuff for her, I've had a lot of different passports issued to me, including the current one from 1967 when I first got a passport. Because my mother was married to my father, and my mother was the one that registered me, having given me birth. And my father's name did not appear on my birth certificate. Somehow, according to them, I'm not a Belizean. Or they want to question my Belizean nationality to say, well, I my birth certificate says the name of my mother, her maiden name, and therefore I have no reason or rights to be using my father's name, even though I live with my father. He grew me up. I live around the other rest of the Brackett family. They all know me, and I know myself as Leonard Brackett from the time I was born and cognizant of myself existing. You have some of these new people now coming with new concepts and expectations. That is to say, what was isn't because they say so. Because their procedures and protocols, which are forbidden by the Constitution, now allow them, based on their decision process, to relegate my existence to some other existence that does not exist. Therefore, I shouldn't be able to allow my daughter to get her nationality through me as a born Belizean. They're not denying the fact that I was born and that I was registered, you know. They're trying to come up with excuses and reasons to deny my daughter her constitutional right to exercise and have her documentation being requested by me on her behalf by trying to delegitimate me. They have a passport that was given to me back in 1967 and subsequent to that had been renewed long before my daughter was ever born. So I was a Belizean before my daughter was born, but I'm not a Belizean after my daughter is born and she wants to exercise her patriotic right to feel like a Belizean, act like a Belizean, be a Belizean, and acquire what is rightfully hers, her Belizean nationality. Mind you, most people who are Belizeans and who go to the States, some of them don't even care about Belizean nationality anymore because they become US citizens and they're satisfied with having attained that. My daughter was born in the US. She's satisfied with her US citizenship. But she still wants to be able to claim, according to the rules and the Constitution, to be able to exercise her rights. And you have some of these just come Johnnies yesterday trying to create policies, rules, and regulations to deny born Belizeans their right, while they are giving other people those same rights. Some of those people that come, they don't even know what names those people have, where they got the names that they are providing to them for, but they have a special department that expedites them getting that service done, and they don't question their names or titles or anything that they do with the born Belizean them, and they are in a hurry to regularize them, just in order for them to vote for them, because the people are indebted to them to be given Belizean citizenship in some instances where they are not entitled to it and should be getting it as per the constitutional prescripts. But that's how devious the whole damn system has become. Not to say the least that the Prime Minister himself has taken on that particular department under his jurisdiction with his guise and care, because other people, such as the unelected one and others, have been running roughshod in that department, or have allowed that department to run roughshod over the people and population of this country, to whom they are sworn to do and render services. It is not the politicians and or the civil servants that should be derogating and taking away the rights of civilians. That's contrary to the Constitution. But yet they put themselves in that position to claim authority and rights to be able to do so at their whim and will. I had one person there to ask me, where did the name Brackett come from? Yeah, the way the question was asked, where did the name Brackett came from? That is the title that I carry. From my father and all the rest of my family on the Brackett side, all of whom know me from a kid, from when I was born until today's date, as Leonard Brackett. But yet these people who are supposed to be experts at what they're doing can't know me as such because they don't take the time to do what their job requires them to do, which is to verify and validate historical records that are available to them. Had anyone cared to do their work, they wouldn't have to ask me stupid questions, such as where did the bracket come from? Only for me to find out that what the person was intending to ask when he said, well, where did the bracket come from? She was trying to ask me, well, how did I get Brackett as my name? When my birth paper doesn't say Brackett, it says Pizzol, which is my mother's maiden name. My mother registered me, and so were other thousands of people in this country over many decades, especially in the past. When your mother and your father wasn't married and your mother had a child, that child was registered under the mother's name. So was I. Now, they ask me where the bracket come from. The bracket come from the fact that my father gave me his name. My father accepted me as his own child and grew me up and raised me as that person. 75 years later now, some Johnny come lately is going to come and ask me, where did that bracket come from? Or how did I get bracket? And have me to sign off on documents stipulating the whole history of that issue. I didn't burn myself. So how stupid is it for anyone to believe that I am accountable for my being burned? And therefore, I'm supposed to be put in a situation where I have to deny my whole past experience or existence to conform to some Johnny come lately policies of state that the Constitution says should not be put in place in the first place to degrade anybody's rights. Except with
You
your
see,
consent, the government have no right to tamper with some basic civil rights. If I was born in Belize by the mother that registered me, within days of my being born, how the hell they going to try and deny me my Belizean birthright and citizenship and the privilege that should go along with that because they feel like it's not for them to have those authority or powers over me as a born Belizean. But nevertheless,
but
I did what they wanted me to do in order to, not rock the boat unnecessarily. But at the end of the day, the Prime Minister himself is the head of that department. He took many of those people from that department and many other departments and went and gave a lot of people that weren't born in this country full-fledged um, alien status and birthrights to the point where some of them were able to get passports, some of them were able to get social security services, some of them they were able to get lands, all different kind of stuff that they are not affording the local born Belizeans. But they have immigration and migration departments looking out for the interests and well-being of those people and their basic civil rights, but none for the Belizean born. That's a bunch of
you
crap.
see, you see, Leonard, how they both PUP and UDP
What are they doing?
uses our government agencies to push through their political agenda, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's all about their political agenda. It's all about what would make them win an election,
Mm-hmm.
right? So they it's not the first time that we hear the immigration department in scandal as for the same thing we talking about. It's not the first time, right? Scandal upon scandal upon scandal upon scandal, right?
This week, right here, we're hearing that
Yeah, I'm gonna get to
Americans
that.
got. Yeah,
Yeah,
okay, go ahead. Go ahead,
yeah,
sir.
I was gonna get to that,
Yeah, yeah, I'm sorry.
right?
I'm
So,
sorry.
yeah, so you know, what are they doing to make it better for the Belizean people?
Nothing.
We all experience the hardship in getting your passport renewed, your first passport, born Belizean, your
Mm-hmm.
first passport and your passport renewed, and the hardship in getting your birth certificate,
Mm-hmm.
right? So three hardship. Well, but
As well as the social security card, sir.
yes, yes,
That's
yes.
another thing that
But you need that. You
you have to
need
jump
that.
over hoops and all kind of stuff.
Yes, you need that birth paper to get that social security card.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You need that birth paper to get the
Loan.
a passport. Right? So I'm trying to show the Belizean people the three main things to identify you, how they make it hard for you. Now you got to have that $200, right?
Mm-hmm.
The man says, Belizean no want go to Orange Rock people, no want go to the States, right? So they don't want no birth paper. They don't want go to the passport place because they don't got no interest to go to the States. Something to that effect, right?
But he's out of the country every time you step on
Right?
the ground.
So I say this to say that now we could see that this immigration system is well corrupted from the time of memorial, and it now will stop here. It will get more corrupted. Now you have other little houses where they pop up as immigration services.
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks ago, them bus one place out there in the Lake Independence area, right? Hotbed of, you go get your passport, you could get your visa, you could get all your immigration service done right there, even your birth paper. And they find all the equipment used to do it,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is just another example of what will happen. What will happen? So I would say by now they'd have investigated already some of these people that
And have
have gotten these illegal documents
and have them in handcuffs.
and have them in handcuffs, right? But you hear now, it's only me. That person that was running that have close tie to a minister that involved in immigration. I would not call names. I just say have to have access to the inside,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you hear anything else, my people, about that? We will hear about the weed, yes, and the cocaine. You know a lot about that where they find in this house too, right? You don't hear much about the documentation and the illegal immigration ring there. You don't hear much about that. Because why? Them investigate and have this person to confess. He's gonna call some names, right? So what they will do? They will work out a little deal with this man or this woman. I'm telling you what will happen. Then you will never hear about who helped him to do that illegal activity. Because why? They are big people. Anyway, say this to say that look all what they do to the smally man from where the PG when come and want birth paper. All from way back in them villages where want apply for their passport. You
How
see
many
how,
times they have to repeat them trip?
yes,
At what
that's
cost?
about the trips here, Leonard. And I say that they have to make back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Back and forth. But you see how easy they make it for the immigrants and the people who swim the river with no kind of documentation at all. And they swim the river, right? Big long river. And some of them come through the bushes from down south and patrol all these hot spots. And I know, right? You see how easy they make it for these people. In fact, they took it way in the villages the last
Mr.
time.
Wade, Mr. Wade, they, they create laws in our Congress to facilitate this process, and then they create
Exactly.
departments that
Exactly.
allow for these people to come and go to those departments and get their services expedited under humanitarian. But you see, they can do humanitarian gestures and favors for these people. Nothing wrong with that to a certain extent. Why can't the hell they do the same humanitarian services for our own local born Belizeans? Is my question.
That's my thing. Said it. They took it to the villages, Leonard, and they say all on the one where they in all the little bushes. We're afraid for come out. Uno come out now. See me there at the village way down south. Uno
Mm-hmm.
come out. Not the worry, just come out and present to yourself and we make you believe that everything right here for facilitate you. When the poor Belizean, pan Belizean, they have a hard time, right, getting their patrimony, something that
Uh,
constitutionally they deserve.
Mr. Chairman, can I be allowed to make a statement that
Go ahead, Leonard.
a lot of Belizeans may not have contextualized or recognized? That is to say, a lot of these students that we have been giving educational scholarships to from across the Melchor and other places to come and study in Belize, and some who come to study on their own dime, paid by their parents or whatever. Some of these same individuals not only study in Belize, they live in Belize on this side of the border for most of the time, and eventually end up getting most of the, well, not most, but a lot of the top jobs them in the government services, not only in the Cayo area, but in Orange Walk, Corozal, Belize, Stan Creek, and Toledo area. In other words, they're given first preferences over local Belizeans who don't get those plum jobs or primary jobs. Okay? And these are some of the people who in these government departments are now being Trojan horses to be dismissing local Belizeans and condescending to them and talking craziness to them and trying to belittle them and trying to pretend that, okay, well, if your mother and your father wasn't married and you happen to have been born in Belize, then you are less than a second-class citizen, you're less than an immigrant, you deserve nothing other than to be, disenfranchised. So then you become the bottom of the barrel. The very same people are the ones that you afford, and our leaders afford the privilege to get the same education, same benefits like we, same everything like we, are the one that's pushing us to the bottom now so that they are the one that stay at the top and survive and enjoy the cream. That's what's going on in Belize. I've been to Corozal many times, to Orange Walk many times, to Cayo many times, to Benopan many, many, many times, to Stan Creek a few times, to Placencia. And the only place that I haven't been on this particular trip is to Punta Gorda. And I have a survey that I do every year that relates to these things about migration patterns and demography and education and economics and politics. Every year I do an annual survey, and I've been doing that from 1971 till today date. It was the basis on which the United Democratic Party got its formation. So when I'm telling you what I'm telling you, I'm not saying these things gratuitously. I'm saying based on the record, historically, the facts are that the demography of the country has changed not by accident, omission, or oversight, but by a deliberate undermining program to marginalize the Belizeans and to take away what we consider to be our patrimony and turn it over to the Guatemalans, who know when they come in as refugees. In other words, they're pretending to be like the other rest of Central Americans, whom our Constitution says that the government can decide which one of them to give citizenship with, as compared to where the Constitution says Guatemalans are not supposed to be getting any citizenship. And since Honduras is claiming part of our territory, they are not supposed to be getting citizenship either. But they are the ones running in our government, running for our government office, for our House of Representatives, and they're the ones that's positioning to lead the country in the near future. And for we people pretend like they don't understand what the heck is going on. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Leonard. Thank
You're
you.
welcome, sir.
These are vital stats, and vital information to keep, educating our people of what is going on. You're not telling a lie there, Leonard. I myself is a testimony to what you're saying. I have witnesses, and along with me and with myself here in the West. One time in the 3 times I'd contested independent up here, I have went public, Leonard, and invite the media to show them what is coming over from Melcher.
But
What
loads
is
of
coming
people.
over Melcher
And the
to?
Prime Minister himself offered to pay
There is a tape.
$15,000,
Yes.
$15,000, and 1,000 manifesto, and so many shirts, and the, when election day, they're all pre-registered, and then they come over from Melchor, and they come and vote over our side for the party that have them
And
registered.
and Leonard and my people, both at home and abroad, it's a continuous cycle. This is what this two-party system does. Not only the PUP, but the PUP do it better than the UDP. Like I said, I invite the media to witness the busload coming over from Melcher to come and vote in our elections here. After they vote, get their money, put back in that boat and that bus and track back over. They already came, and decide our election. That's why I says this, that pretty soon they will not need this two-party system. Well, it's only one now because the other one is the opposition. We don't hear it. They're too busy fighting for them for power right now.
Mr.
So
Chairman, today I witnessed, you know what they call the little bositos then?
yes, sir.
Okay, I don't
That
know
after the
if everybody
Belmopan.
at Belize understand what me and you talk about when we talk
Yes,
about
sir.
the little bositos then.
Yes, sir.
Okay? It's basically a van, but a little larger than a regular van, that is equipped to carry passengers back and forth from different destinations. One of them today, coming from the west, going directly into the immigration lot today. Okay, I stood right up there and watch it, and I've loaded its amount of people. Now, I'm not going to say that that bus only deals with immigration issues, and that that bus picks up only people who are coming to Belize to deal with immigration issues, but I'm saying that it delivers people in that bus to the immigration department to have paperwork being done for them. And that was not the only time that I've seen that. I'm referring to today's instance because it's the latest scenario, the latest one. But I've seen that happen over and over and over. And many decades ago, during the course of the same annual analysis that I do of my country, I used to go to Cayo, Bengue, Santa Elena sometimes, to different locations along that road, and watch the busloads of people that will come in Novelos bus that don't go back in the evening. Because you say, okay, when people come just to work, they come to work and then in the evening they go back on the bus and the bus is full with the same average amount of people. The buses are going back half empty. Most of the people that are coming are staying along the way with other family members who have been in the country before and who paved the way for them. And like I said, with the bositos, that's the one that really had grabbed me big time, right? Because those were coming directly from across Melchor. They weren't coming from Santa Elena, like in Novelos and Batibos and the other buses that used to be running those roads. Some of them were. But the ones I'm talking about were coming directly from across the border. Presumably, some of them were coming to come and shop, others were coming to school, others were coming for different reasons. But at the end of the day, they were not all going back. Or you probably want to say, okay, well, maybe they didn't go back that same day, they went back another day. I spent days tracking that type of stuff, which is why I was able to add to my um, um, demographic analysis forecasting capabilities to say how much people were coming into the country, what percentages were coming as people just from across the border. And I was able to predict more or less in many of those elections passed from 1990 till now, how much people was going to vote months ahead of time, how much people was going to vote for any one party, how much people was going to vote for any one individual. All those are on record because they were published predictions. So for those who think that I'm just talking right now to make up a story or to say something, go back and look on the documents. Check the track record. See how close to perfect those track records were in terms of those particular reports and analysis. The bottom line is that we are not where we are supposed to be, and we are getting worse and worse. And at the end of the day, pretty soon, like you said, Mr. Wade, as the people have said before, they don't need us anymore. I yield back, sir.
So, Leonard, thank you. Truth. So I say this to say, Leonard, to our people, and through again to our 222nd edition of our Belizean Affairs. Again, I am forewarning again for the umpteenth time the media houses. You could go a week before the election is called, whenever it's called, go a week before and you will get to see what we are talking about. Because a week before they will come and they will be setting up in different houses, right? For the voting day. But between a week and on that day for voting, you could see exactly what we are talking about. And these people, like I say, after they voted, they get their money. They had decided our election, and they track back across the border to where they live. Right? And again, we like it. Yes, we love it because we have done nothing about it. The media even afraid to talk about it. And I call on them, I Rudy Wade call on them. Come here, Love FM. Come here, Channel 5. Say, oh no, come to the border.
So,
See what I'm
Mr.
talking
Chairman,
about?
when people open up their mouth and talk about these subject matters, they classify them as being racist or
Maybe I
classify them as
mischief
being
makers or I
yeah,
crazy. Oh,
yeah.
that believe holiday,
So we are
cigar
just
mouth
supposed to
full of
stay
hot air.
silent and
Don't know
watch
what
what's
the
happening,
hell
know
he's
what's
talking
happening,
about,
and
right?
pretend like we care not, we don't care about what's happening here.
Yes. So when you have the leader of the nation could be caught on a tape deciding how much he's gonna pay and what he's gonna do on that day for the people from across there to come and participate and how much money he's gonna give them, you know, what can I say?
And that was only the tip of the iceberg.
Right?
That was just the tip of the
That's
iceberg.
it. That's just like, and then I'm just talking about the western border, I'm like, no, not talk about the
It happened.
southern border
It
and the
happens in
northern border, right?
it happened
You
in the southern
understand?
border with Barrios and Livingston
You
and Honduras.
understand?
You know,
Right.
they had people from the islands who are actually
So,
um, um, Bay people, original Bay people, but are now fully Honduranians because those islands was given up in exchange to Honduras.
yes.
So those people, even though they were original Bay people, their nationality now is Honduranian. And they come
So,
and vote in Belize.
so what I'm saying here, my people, both at home and abroad, I'm speaking about something that I have experienced, and I have a right to speak about these things because I'm a born Belizean, a taxpayer, right? and a voter. A born Belizean, a taxpayer, and a voter. And I have all that God given right. Right?
Yes, sir.
And it's not the first time I'm talking about my experience. Right? I don't talk about nobody else's experience. I'm just talking about my experience, right? And it's a never ending cycle. The two-party system does the same thing. It's just that the PUP does it better, right? On that note, you know, um, always, time is of an essence. Um, we touch extensively on the immigration system in our country, and to close that off, I have a, I used to have a British Honduras passport that expired, and I got the new Belize passport, and I yet to get the CARICOM passport. But you know why I no get that? Let me tell the Belizean people why I no gonna get that. That one is because they bring some restrictions now. You one time ago I just carry the whole passport and full out a form and you renew your passport. If you're Belizean man and you renew your passport. Now you have to go get it assigned by a JP. You have to go find somebody, two other person for sign it. You have to bring one birth paper along with that passport. But our totally regimen and a new system that I do not adhere to and want to adhere to it because it's uncalled for what they're doing to ban Belizean, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the new system deter a lot of us to go renew because I don't have the patience, Leonard, honestly, to go through all what they want me to do now. So I have not renewed my Belize passport to the new one. I still have the old one, right?
Mr. Weird, on the thing that I mentioned earlier for my daughter,
They
I
can
was there
keep that
today.
one
Wait,
for
wait,
me.
wait.
They
I
can
was
keep
there.
it.
Mr. Weird, I was there today. I was there yesterday. I was there Monday. And I was there, I think, last Friday or Thursday or Friday. In other words, I was there 4 days already. And I still have to go back probably one or two more times. Imagine the average Belizean have to be put through the kind of shenanigan. Have to be. You catch on taxi if you go to the bus station, you pay the bus fee, you get to the bus place up the Belmopan, you have to pay one bus fee or you walk go to the immigration office. You pay if you go back to from the immigration office again back to the bus station. If you have any other business to do, you pay if you go to that other business. You pay if you get back to the bus station. You pay the bus. When you get the Belize back, you pay again another fee for a taxi carry home
And
again.
what turn you off to, Leonard? May I
And you
just
have
interject you. You go through all this. You went through all that, Leonard. And when you go in front of the immigration officer, the face that person put on you, like you, they
mm-hmm.
beg them for something, please give me because I need it. Help me, sir. You did beg them. The
And not only that, but there's an
attitude,
expectation for a fee.
right? That's my
Some
thing,
of them, some of them
too.
come
That's
out as
why I
if they
know.
expect a fee
Anyway,
because it is known that the people that pay fees get their services a little more expedited or get their services
we
done.
already paying these people their daily salary, Leonard. We
And that is
already
not the
paying
only
them.
that is
Taxpayers'
not the
money
only
is
government
paying them.
department. It's
Likewise, the
not the only
minister and
government
all of
department
them,
that
the
are
heads
running
of
those kind of
department.
rackets in.
When they put you through, you see where all you gone through. And then when you get to the desk, Leonard, the face you the watch. The face you the watch. No,
Like I
then I
said,
want you to bend down and beg them, beg, please, sir. Please help me, please. That's your God given right. That's your birthright.
they should be
They
smiling and they
deserve,
should be treating
they
you with
should,
some level of
not shall or may,
cordiality.
not shall or may, they should provide you with that service. But
It's a
what's the
policy.
face you're looking
That
at?
is a policy of state that is required by our constitution.
You go to the lands on the next show, Leonard, on the next Wednesday, Godwin, I will touch the lands department. I will explore some more in the lands department and bring out some of the dirtiness in the lands department, right? publicly, and who like it, or right. But I will come with truth, and I will come with my experience, right? So they could take me to court for my experience, right? I'll go defend my experience in court, right?
You know, so
So
I think we tried our best on this particular show to deal with many aspects of our Belizean affairs. And we keep trying and keep trying and keep trying, and we will not stop. Despite an inclination on the part of some to muzzle us.
then
If
I
we
give
don't do
you
it,
5 minutes for
if
your
we don't
closing
do it,
there,
who
Leonard.
then?
Go
Uh,
ahead.
I was about to do a short close and then turn it back to you for your final closing. So I don't know if 5 minutes is a little bit too
No,
much
it's five
right
minutes.
now.
Good. Yeah,
No,
I'll
no, no.
take
I mean,
three.
but, okay, I'll take three then. But seriously speaking, Mr. Wade and Belizeans at home and abroad, our country is in a bad situation, and quite a few people are pretending that it is not. Belizeans, for whatever reason, have a thing with being bamboozled and liking that bamboozling, or pretending that, well, it's no big deal, even when they can recognize that they are being bamboozled. But the bottom line is that all we are doing when we accept that type of behavior from these so-called leaders is to aid and abet them to commit more criminal activities against us. Because what they're doing to us and our people and the country is outright criminal conduct. There's no reason or justification for our leaders, political leaders in our country, both mass parties, by the way, to be behaving the way they do, other than they can do so with impunity. But I can tell you, as I've told them before, those animals are going to come back to roost at our very Belizean patrimony. I recall a while back I spoke to and about the commissioner not reining in his wayward and derelict underlings and allowing some of these people to get away with criminal conduct under the color of law. And then they go and defend them as well. I told them so, that people will eventually at some point get so fed up and so mad that they will start take the law into their hands. And they are not only going to continue shooting themselves, but they are going to be shooting at the officers themselves too. And we are seeing this happening more often than we care to accept. But I told them so. Go back and check the shows that we have done. It's right there. But they don't listen. They don't believe that that is possible. And even if that is possible and that happens, they won't find a way to remedy it. And they won't turn up the heat. And they won't put pressure on whoever is it that they have to put pressure on. Only for us to turn out like a Haiti. Got pressure, they got pressure. And more pressure brings more pressure. And the more the pressure, the less control you have over the situation. But they don't care. So that's my commentary for tonight. And that's my summation.
Thank you.
I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Leonard. Again, I close off by saying that, we, you know, we have talked again about, the failure to provide adequate services to our Belizean people, the favoritism. We talk about the immigration situation. We talk about the people who decide our elections in this country. And I would like for the word to go out for these observers that come to observe our elections. These are things that they need to watch, right? Along with the paying and buying of votes, outright giving, passing of money,
Mm-hmm.
right? These are things that, and they should not go back and say we have free and fair election because it's not right for them to say that, right?
So long as we have the bacon houses, them.
We do not have free and fair election in this country. We just talk about one incident from across the border and two next incident about the money outright being passed, right, for votes. Right there in front of everybody's eyes. They say house, right? That's around and around, right? The money is there, right? So, Belizean, we deserve better. Better can be had. If time on open on our eyes, right? You want to say something, Leonard?
No, sir, I was checking the
No,
time. I
time
was
to
checking
open
the
on our
time.
eyes, right? And say enough is enough. We're tired of the way they treat the poor Belizeans, uh, uh, the poor and less fortunate, right? The taxpayers, the public officers, the no give a damn attitude about this, the way these people behave, right? They don't give a damn. They do things and get away with it. We need to start to hold these people accountable. And the only way that that will be done is by your votes, right? So,
I would say we have come at the end of this one for tonight, though,
so
Mr. Chairman.
yes, we are at 128 there, Leonard. We have another minute. And like I
131.
say, my people,
132.
open your eyes, open your eyes,
Yes, sir.
right? And decide on your next election if you want to keep voting for the same old. There will be changes on the ballot. Okay, so I want to thank you for tuning in tonight's show. Hope that take away something tonight, and thanks to our viewers and listeners who tune in with us tonight. And on that note,
We have Leroy Lisbey, and then we have Miss Rubina Forte. Thanks for the commentary. I'll
good,
address them as soon
thank
as
you.
we get a chance after the show.
Tune in to our next program on Friday, God willing, and Constitutional Night. I want to say good night.
God bless.
Thank you.
Thank you for such a wonderful program, Mr. Wade.
I am having on this side 129.58, 130. Okay.
Okay. I got 132.42.
Uh,
So, well, I mean, we're still within the 135 range, you know? I mean, we could
uh,
have gone another minute or so, but,
Click that button there.
so, okay, so, and, okay. We're still not ending it.